Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live in an NFL game. When a team scores, let's say 40 points, we usually look at that and say, wow, they had an offensive explosion. Usually the top scoring teams average somewhere around 30, a little over 30. But 70 points, that's usually something you see when an FBS college team like a Georgia, an Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State plays an FCS school. But you just don't see that in the NFL unless you're playing Tecmo Super Bowl and you're using Bo Jackson, the ultimate cheat code in video games. But of course, if you're an NFL fan, you're probably aware of what happened during the 1 o'clock Eastern time frame of games by the Miami Dolphins. This is via CBS Sports. Cody Benjamin. Dolphins score 70 points versus Broncos. All records set, including most points in NFL game in almost 60 years. So Miami had one of just 4 70-plus point games in NFL history, a league that's been around almost a century. So it mentions only the 1940 Bears and 1966 Washington teams scored more points in a single game. Dolphins rewrote the record books on this historic day. Here are a few of their historic accomplishments in the NFL and for the franchise. Fourth 70-point plus game in NFL. Fourth 70-plus point game in NFL history. Other three were the 1940 Bears, 73 in the NFL championship game, 1966 Washington team, 72, and the 1950 Rams, 70. So regular season record, 72. Dolphins were a field goal away from breaking that. Second most yards in a game in NFL history, 726. Only the 1951 Rams, 735, had more in the NFL record book, so one first down away from breaking that record. That 1951 Rams, one I remember vividly. All right, kidding. But they had Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch, one of the historic players of the 1950s, along with Norm Van Brocklin and Bob Waterfield at quarterback. First team in NFL history, the Fins, with 5 passing touchdowns and 5 rushing touchdowns in a game. Tua did his thing. Mike White even had a deep touchdown in reserve. Raheem Mostert and Devin Achane, outstanding performances. Second team in NFL history at multiple players with 4 touchdowns in a game. 2004 Chiefs were the other. So both their running backs had 4 TDs. Second team since at least 1940 with 300 passing yards and 300 plus rush yards in a single game. The 2012 49ers also accomplished this. Ran 71 plays and averaged 10.2 yards per play. Most yards per play by a team with 70 plus offensive plays ran since 1960. Second largest win in franchise history. They beat the Patriots 52-0 in 1972. First 50-point win in the NFL since 2014 when the Rams beat the Raiders 52-0. Final scores one never before seen in the NFL. That's not surprising because they're the only team that scored exactly 70, I believe, right? Oh no, 1950 Rams did as well, but it's only 4 times teams scored 70 plus. It also mentions that Dolphins scored more points on Sunday than the Broncos had all season. They have 1,651 yards of offense through 3 games, the most in NFL history, 130 points through 3 games, tied for the second most by any team through 3 games in NFL history, only behind the Dallas Cowboys in 1968, who had 132. So just some incredible numbers from an historic performance. And, the Broncos, their weakness was not seen as defense. Yes, Justin Simmons was out, but the Dolphins were without Jalen Waddle, who would be the number 1 receiver on many teams. Of course, he's the number 2 with Miami behind Tyreek Hill. But, right now, Broncos 0-3. His Sean Payton eating crow. Of course, he had those comments about Nathaniel Hackett before the season. Well, Nathaniel Hackett never saw his Denver Broncos give up 70 points in a game. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.